This is a production of the Gold Arrow Podcast Network. Hello and welcome to the Gold Arrow Camp Pog-cast, a podcast for friends of Gold Arrow Camp. Throughout the year, we join you to bring your day some of what makes Gold Arrow special. Our goal is to help you have fun, make friends, and grow throughout the year, not just when you're at GAC. Since we can't get together in real life, we gather here around the virtual campfire. We have some of your favorite parts of morning assembly, like wows and joke of the day. We also have interviews with experienced campers and some of your favorite counselors. We think it's a lot of fun, and we're glad you joined us. This is podcast episode 11. We're talking with the dynamic duo of Batman and Tootles about what it's like to be actual family at camp, which is a place so many people describe as being a big family. You know, one of the really magical things about camp is the feeling of community. We spend so much time together going to activities, eating, sleeping, and having fun together that it really starts to feel like we're a very tight-knit family. The bonds that campers make at camp can and do last a lifetime. Just last week, our registrar was able to connect a former camper and a counselor from the mid-1980s. It's a testament to the power of camp relationships that they were both excited to hear about the other one, and they're already exchanging emails. We know that camp relationships are strong and durable, and we know that it's because they are forged in a world free from technology where we are overcoming fears in a safe environment with supportive friends. That kind of friendship isn't common in the everyday world, and we're thrilled that we have it at camp, and we know that it's important. Oh, welcome to the interview portion of the podcast. Today, a very special treat, the three-way interview. I've got Tootles and Batman on the show. Welcome, ladies.
Hi, Soy. Thanks for having us.
I'm so excited that you're here on the internet with us.
We're excited, too.
All right.
Awesome.
So, for those people who might listen to the podcast but don't know you, perhaps they don't know you as counselors, could you tell us a little about yourself, how you came to camp, and what you do at camp? Tootles, you can start.
Yep. Cool. So I'm Tootles. Let's see. This is going to be my 13th year at camp.
Whoa.
So my dad actually, well, Batman and our dad, see how I didn't name drop her.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. Woo. He was a camper. So we are second generation, and we were campers since we were 7, and then we became counselors. So I'm a sailing AC. I love camp. My dad learned how to sail at camp, so I learned how to sail from him, and then also at camp. So, yeah, sailing is life.
Batman, I'm going to assume your story is similar, but I know for a fact you aren't a sailor. So what do you do for us at camp?
I'm an arts and crafts counselor at camp, which also comes from my dad because he's very big into arts and crafts from camp with ceramics and all of the hands-on activities. And so to be a part of that at camp was really cool for me to continue that process.
And how long for you?
That was my 12th summer last year, so 13th also.
Okay, look out. All right, so this episode, we're talking about the idea that when you're at camp, you're in a community that feels like family. You actually are family. What's it like to work with your sister, Batman?
So I actually really enjoy working with Tootles because, especially since we're both in college, we don't get to see each other very often during the normal year. And at camp, like over the summer, we work together and we get to see each other more often. But it's not the tensions of living with your family. Right. It's the best parts of family that come together at camp. And I think that's what makes it so special.
Sure. Tootles, anything to add working with Batman?
It was very weird to call her Batman. We actually had to practice at home for about a month before we left for the summer because otherwise it was just not going to work out. And actually during Tweak, there was a lot of mishaps.
I think you touched on it a little, but let's see if you've had anything else. What's the biggest challenge to work with a sibling at camp?
Yeah, the name dropping is hard. At some point, I would just blank on what her counselor name was and say you human person. Sometimes, and I'm not going to say it because it starts with the first letter of her name, but it would turn into like a mixed name. So that was definitely really, really hard. Something else, probably, oh, I don't know. It was just kind of strange, but also kind of cool because, yeah, the name thing. It's the name thing,
It's
always
the name
the
thing.
name
Batman, you
thing. It's
agree it's the name thing?
I think the name thing is definitely a big challenge, but for me, it wasn't as hard as Tootles because she had a year of being a
Right.
counselor already. And I think for me, the biggest challenge was living up to that expectation of other people because they had an idea of like what it means to be a counselor, like as good as Tootles. And aw, it was a good experience.
It got fairly dusty in here when you said you had to live up to your sister. Somebody's cutting onions in the office. It's all, I'm getting a little dust. Okay, so you guys were both longtime campers. Did you come to the same session when you came?
Yes.
Yes,
we
I
did.
think every year that we did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you attempt to see each other at camp or did you attempt to avoid each other at camp?
Who would you
I
like
think,
yeah. Different stories here.
Go ahead, Batman.
I think that I definitely tried to see Tootles more and she tried to avoid me more, but it makes sense because she's my older
Right.
sister and she wants to have her own experience and I'm trying to have my own experience while living in her experience too.
Yes.
And so I think it was good that she did that because it forced me to kind of make my own friends and like follow my own path, which was good.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Is that accurate? Were you kind of typical
That is
older
very
sibling
accurate.
thing?
Yeah, definitely in typical older sibling. I was, yeah, avoid at all costs.
All right. Lots of campers tell us that they feel like their cabin mates become like family to them. Why do you think camp builds really deep relationships like that, Tootles?
I think just because you're spending so much time with your cabin mates and you're not on your phone, you're not distracted by anything else. You're just with those people. You're learning so much about each other in such a short amount of time, and you're not learning like what hairstyle you like. You're learning what their likes and dislikes are, like how they work as a team. You're just learning about their souls, really.
Ooh.
So it's just like, I know that's deep. You're just learning all about this person in 2 weeks or however long you're there, and you just, I don't know, you just have this long-lasting bond that's kind of indescribable, but it's also really cool.
Awesome. Batman, do you feel the same way? You think it's a so much time with people thing?
I think it's definitely about how much time you are together, but also it's like the experience all around, like being in nature like that and doing these activities that you probably don't have the opportunity to do anywhere else, and trying to like conquer fears together. And it's definitely a really supportive community. And so that kind of support really, really makes people feel like family.
Okay. Batman, you mentioned earlier, I think, that you guys are both away at school. What ideas or lessons from camp have you been able to take to college with you?
I think definitely like growing grit, perseverance, and continuing to try even if you don't succeed
Sure.
is very important to apply with school, because school is difficult, and to know that you can conquer these situations and you have people who will help you, and to use that help is really important lesson that I've learned from camp.
Tootles, same question. Lessons from camp that you use at college.
Ooh. Well, I'm captain of my sailing team, so I've definitely learned how patience is really useful, and just knowing that everyone has their own situation and you can conquer any problem, any situation together by working together. And again, growing grit, a lot of growing grit.
Lots of grit grown.
Yes, lots of grit grown, always.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's move into the speed round. For each of these, we'll go in alphabetical order. So Batman gets to go first.
Okay.
Same 5 questions for everybody. So Batman, we'll do all 5 questions for you. Then we'll come back around and we'll do all 5 questions for Tootles.
All right.
Here we go. Batman, what is your favorite Repeat After Me song?
After Me song is The Princess Pat.
The Princess Pat. It's a Ricka Bamboo. What is your favorite item on the salad bar?
I really liked the artichoke hearts
Yeah.
on the salad bar.
Don't mind.
What is your favorite chapstick flavor?
Definitely gonna have to go with Monkey's Mountain Mint.
Classic.
It's a newbie, but it's a favorite.
Right? I have the hat somewhere on my shelf. Mallows or popcorn?
Definitely popcorn.
Okay. All right. Tootles. Same questions. Here they come.
All right.
What's your favorite repeat after me song?
The hippopotamus song.
Oh.
Yes. I like that one. And
Yeah.
hats.
Okay. What's your favorite item on the salad bar?
Also the artichokes.
Yeah, they were amazing.
They were perfect.
Favorite chapstick flavor?
I don't like flavored chapstick.
Oh!
So I didn't try any of them.
Okay, that's the
I
first.
know.
You're
It's
the
so
first
bad.
person on the podcast who said I don't like flavored chapstick. Everybody
I'm so
else,
sorry, Camp.
everybody else just picked Mountain Mint. They just went with that. Mallows or popcorn?
Both.
Both.
We gotta make them both together and make little popcorn ball.
Yes. Hello. We're singing from my hymnal. All right, and then for both of you, because I know you had troubles with it all summer long, what are your real names?
Ooh, I know Batman's. I'm Batman.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We don't have time for you to expose each other's real name. We're all out of time on the podcast. Tootles and Batman, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks,
Thank
Soy.
Joke of the cast, joke of the cast. 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 Joke of the cast. I was up at camp recently, and there's a tremendous amount of snow, which is really great news. It means the lake's going to be full. And I saw that someone had built some snowmen in camp, which is pretty fun. I thought that was awesome. And I walked up and I found out that they were actually talking snowmen. And one of the snowmen looked at the other and said, that's interesting. Smells like carrots out here. And now, it's time for another Gaxpiration with Sunshine.
This week's Gaxpiration comes from Taylor Swift. Maybe you're not meant to fit in. Maybe you're supposed to stand out.
Well, you've done it. You've listened to another Gold Arrow Camp podcast. I want to thank Sunshine for reading the Gaxpiration. I want to thank Tootles and Batman for coming on. I thought they were a lot of fun. They had a lot of insight about being sisters at camp. I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank bensounds.com for our intro and outro music. Did a nice job. And remember, if you want to send a wow or a poem for Poetry Corner or wows, you can do that. wow@goldarrowcamp.com for both of those. Remember, if you like the podcast, share it with a friend. Even if they don't go to Gold Arrow, we try and brighten everybody's day. We're an equal opportunity happiness maker. Well, with that, I'm Soy, and I'll save a marshmallow for you.